Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn and my channel is Making with Marilyn. Now on a couple recent videos I made these two tumblers, and on this first one I actually ripped the paper to make that effect. So I ripped the paper and then on a separate piece of sublimation paper I typed the words, I wrapped the image on, I added the words, and I sublimated it. Then on the next video I actually did everything generated on the computer. Now, during that video, I asked if anyone wanted to see how I did this, and I had a couple people say they did. So that's what I'm going to do on today's video. Now, if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. If you do, tap the bell, select the all notification. That way YouTube lets you know anytime I upload new content. Now, I'm going to show you how I did this project, and I'm going to show you in Silhouette Studio because a lot of people use this software. Now, if you don't have Silhouette Studio, you can download a free version. I am using a paid version, but you can download the basic version for free and use it to print from, even if you don't have a Silhouette cutter. All right, so the first thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to get my paper set up to the right size. If for some reason yours is showing 12 by 12 because that's what you cut from, you go right over here. This is the page setup panel, and you can adjust your size right here. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and make a rectangle the size that I would use for a full wrap tumbler. So I'm going to click right here on this rectangle, and then I'll go over here and just draw one real quickly. Now for the tumblers I use most often, I make my tumbler wraps 9.4 inches wide by 8.2 inches tall. That may or may not be the right size for you. You have to measure your tumblers, kind of practice with them. I do like to make mine just a little bit big so I can cut them down and make sure there's no white showing against the tumbler. All right, so let's go up here to the select tool. Then I can click on this, and let's see, the sizes aren't showing up here. Let me just drag this over, make a little more room, and they should pop up. All right, there they are. So let's say I want this 9.4 wide, and then I'll have to unlock it to get the height at 8.2. Now, let me go ahead and change this a color just to make it a little bit easier on me. I'll just turn it a gray. Well, no, I don't want gray. That blends in with the back. Let's just do it a really light blue. All right, let's bring in my two images. Now, the first image that I want to bring in is a 3D flower design. Now, it's not the one I used on the tumbler the other day. It's another one I'm thinking about making. So I'll go to File, Merge, and then it's right here, 3D Dahlia Tumbler Wrap. Now I got this from Creative Fabrica. It came in a grouping of, I think, about 30 different wraps, but this was the one that I was interested in, so this is the one that I dragged over or added to my desktop. Now it's a PNG, so I'll click on it and I'll say OK. I love how bright that is. Okay, so now I need to bring in the torn paper effect. I also got it from Creative Fabrica. So I go to File, Merge, and here it is right here. It's called Paper Scrap. Now, when I downloaded this file, there were various versions, not just an SVG version, but it's important for this project that you use the SVG version. So that's what I brought to my desktop. So I'll click on it and then say OK. Now, this comes in huge. So let me go ahead and minimize or make my screen smaller so that I can just take the entire thing and get rid of it, except for the one I want to keep. Okay. Now let's go ahead and blow that back up. Okay, so this is still selected. With it selected, I'm going to go to Object, Rotate, and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. So it is very, very large right now. If you like the size of those rips, you can just leave it like this. If you want the rip smaller, you can go ahead and lock the proportions. Okay, notice it's saying the width is 19, even though now it's the height. That is a little confusing, but I can deal with it. Okay, so let's say I want the height to be Let's go 9 inches. That way I take advantage of all those rips. But look how tiny they look. I don't really like that, so I'm going to go back to the way it was. Okay, so I'm going to barely cover over my flowers. Now, if this comes in on the back, because sometimes it does, let me show you. Let me just put it back there. Let's go to Object, Arrange, and Send to Back. Okay, so if you move this over and it's going under what it needs to be on top of, with it selected, just go to Object, Arrange, and Bring to Front. Okay, so just kind of seeing where I like it. I think that looks pretty good. Now with it selected, because I'm going to rip it over here too, let's hit Command C for copy, Command B for paste, then go right up here to Object, Mirror, and flip horizontally. Then I'll move it to the other side. I'm just going to place it off to the side for now. Now since I want my rips pretty much in the same place, I'm going to select this one on the left, hold the Shift key, add the one on the right, and then I'm going to go up to Object, Align, and I'm going to align on the top, and that one on the right is going to move up. So here's where you're able to cause this ripped edge in this image. Okay, since I aligned those, they were both selected, so I need to click off somewhere so that I deselect them. Now I'm just going to select this white piece on the left, hold the Shift key down, add the flowers to it, let go of the key, go to Object, Modify, and Subtract. Okay, so there's my ripped edge on this side. And what I have left is almost 9 inches. Remember that my overall wrap is going to be about 9.4. And right now I have about 9 inches left. If I want to leave an inch to an inch and a half, that means I'm going to have to take off a little bit more over here than what I did over here. So let me go ahead and click on this one, and then just so that I keep it level with where the other one was, I'm using the left arrow key to cover over it. If I drag it, I might move it some. Okay, so now it just becomes kind of trial and error. The white thing is still selected. Let's hit Shift, add the flowers to it, let go of Shift, go to Object, Modify, and Subtract. And this is almost perfect, but not quite. Let's make it where there's a little bit less than 8.4 left. So I'm going to hit the back arrow, and then I'm going to click over here so I deselect those two things. Click on the white, and then just keep going a little bit further. It is still selected, so I hit the Shift key, add the flowers, let go of the Shift key, go up to Object, Modify, Subtract. Okay, I think that's pretty good. 8.222 in width, I think that's fine. Now my height's only 8.110, so let's fix that. Now oddly, look at this. It says it's 4.734 in height, and it's really 8.110. I don't know why this is doing this. This did this to me yesterday also. When I hit unlock, this went to the correct dimension. So let's see if that happens today. Okay, and it did. Again, I don't know why that's happening. If you do, let me know. Okay, so since I have it at the width I want, let me go ahead and just bump this up to 8.2. It's going to stretch those flowers up a little bit, but I think they're still going to look great. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and basically put this to the far left of the gray piece. What I can do is I can go ahead, select both of them, say Object, Align. Let's align it left first of all. Okay, it was already there. Object, Align, and let's align it on the top. Okay, so it was already exactly where we needed it to be. Now I know that this gray space over here is what I have left to put my words. Okay, now I want to add words, so let's go right over here and click on the A, and then click anywhere on your sheet. It really doesn't matter. We're going to move it in a little bit. And let's just type bloom like a, whoops, like a flower. All right, so I clicked off of it, back on it. Now I can go up to the font, and I'm going to go down and find the font siblings. And I found siblings on Creative Fabric as well. So I'll select it, and there we have the words. Now all I see is a red outline. So let's go up to Panels, Fill Color, and then I'm going to select black for the fill color. Then I need to get rid of those red lines. I assume that's like a cut line. They show up sometimes and they're very annoying, so I always get rid of them. To get rid of them, you go up to Panels, Line Style, then click on this thing on the right, and then None. Okay, you see it went away. Okay, so we're ready to put the words over here, but I want them a little bit shorter, and then I'm going to stretch them just a little bit longer. Okay, that looks good. Now with those selected, I'm going to go to Object, Rotate, and you're either going to do 90 degrees clockwise or 90 degrees counterclockwise. It depends on if you want your words read from the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top. Let's do 90 degrees counterclockwise. Then I can just drag it right up here. Then lastly, to make sure that this is centered on your flowers, let's select the flowers, hold the Shift key down, add this to it, and then I'm going to say Object, Align, and not align at the top, not align at the bottom, but align in the middle. Then I can go to Object and Group, and I've made my design. Okay, so we know this is the right size. Let's go ahead and get rid of this gray box. Then since it's sublimation, we're going to mirror this. So I'll click on it again, go to Object, Mirror, Flip Horizontal. Then to print it, I just need to fit it on my paper. So to do that, I can either just rotate it here manually, or once again, I can go up to Object, Rotate, and I just need to rotate it 90 degrees. Doesn't matter if it's clockwise or counterclockwise. And as long as it fits on my paper, I'm good to print. So hopefully if you want to make some tumblers like this, you found this video helpful. If you did, or you just enjoyed watching it, please give me that thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and until my next one, bye-bye.